Hey, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and I'm coming to you with a real quick team builder right before we do this battle. For UPC, week number 10, we're going up against the Anistar City Aggrons, coached by OPJellicent. He has a really scary team. Excuse me. Kyurem-B, Mega Aggron, Arcanine, Raikou, Tentacruel, Flygon, Braviary, Reuniclus, Cofagrigus. I don't really know what the preferred pronunciation is. He also has Exploud, and finally he has regular Golem. So I don't want to take too long on this. I just want to hop right into the battle, but I wanted to show you guys my team. Basically, I don't have a chance against something like Kyurem with my normal playstyle with this team, like, kind of like a balanced or bulky offensive style. So, but I don't really do that great with hyper offense either. So we're gonna do the best we can. I've brought a Spike's lead Excelgor with Spike's knockoff Encore Final Gambit. He doesn't have great hazard removal outside of Flygon and Braviary. I guess he's got Tentacruel as well, but whatever, Tentacruel's bad. So we can try to set up as many layers of spikes as we can with this. And in case he wants to take advantage of that and go for some setup or some substitutes with his different Pokemon, I do have a Excelgor packing Encore for that. I also have knockoff for annoying items, and then Final Gambit in case he tries to come in with something to spin or defog. And max speed actually outspeeds a Scarf Braviary, which is really nice. And we put max HP into here so that we can do as much damage with Final Gambit as possible if we need. Next up, we have Scarf Zoroark, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, HP Ice, U-Turn. I wanted something to revenge kill a Scarf Kyurem-B, a +1 boosted Kyurem-B from a Z Hail or something like that. I also wanted to be able to revenge kill +1 Flygon if it sets up a Dragon Dance or anything like that. So yeah, this is just here sort of like a revenge killer if needed. Similar set to last week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, we have a Thick Club, Marowak, knockoff Flare Blitz, Shadow Bone, Boomerang. This is really only here for Reuniclus. Reuniclus is really scary if I don't bring this, because if it's Calm Mind, my Zoroark can't really deal with it. So that's why we're packing this. I guess I could make this physical if I wanted, but I don't think this gets Ice Punch or anything. So yeah, it's gonna be better for me to stick with just this. So yeah, this is almost never gonna be coming in. Let's make it Lightning Rod, just so it has a useful ability. I guess this can sort of switch in on Raikou, but Raikou also gets Shadow Ball. So we'll see if he brings Reuniclus or not. We have enough Spadef in this to live a Life Orb Shadow Ball from a max modest or quiet natured Reuniclus, and then we have enough speed on here to outspeed Mega Aggron by 3 points in case he wants to put 8 speed or something into there. Next up, we have Life Orb Nidoqueen, Stealth Rock, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Focus Blast. This coverage is very good versus him. Maybe Sugar Berry I could run for Flygon, but the Life Orb power is really nice, and he's got a lot of slow Pokemon. He has a lot of powerful wall breakers for sure, like Exploud and things like that, but we do outspeed those, and we can pop them with these big hits. So I'm not really going to be using this thing to revenge kill Flygon and stuff like that. We'll see. I might change my mind. We have a Rock Polish Dremel with Rock Polish, Earthquake, Rock Blast, Ice Punch. This coverage is very potent versus him, and I've been wanting to bring Rock Polish right on all season. This will allow us to outspeed Raikou when we get to +2, and yeah, I can pretty much start decimating his team, especially if we get hazards up beforehand. So this is kind of one of our main sweepers here. And finally, we have a Calm Mind, Dragon Pulse, Psyshock, Roost, Megalati. Enough speed to outspeed Flygon, and max special attack, rest into HP. It's true that Mega Aggron walls this, but Mega Aggron can't do a whole lot to us. I guess I haven't actually done the calcs to see what damage output we have at +6/+6. But I bet that it's a 2 KO, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to change this set. I guess I could run Thunderbolt instead, but I want Psyshock to hit Calm Mind Raikou potentially, and Psyshock's also nifty for Calm Mind Reuniclus. So that is the team, and let's hop right into the battle. Okay, so here we are in the battle versus OPJellicent. As I mentioned, he is again the coach of the Anistar City Aggrons, and he has brought Arcanine, Kyurem-B, Flygon, Braviary, Cofag, and Mega Aggron. I'm really relieved not to see the Reuniclus, just because I don't have a great way to deal with it. The only thing that I can use for it is my Thick Club Marowak, but now I can use that Marowak as a potential switch in for like the Arcanine, for example. The Aggron is also fairly good against. We do have enough speed to outspeed the Aggron if he's not running any speed on it, so that's nice. And we can at least use it to hit super effectively on the Kofag if needed. My plan here still is to set up spikes with my Aselgor as soon as possible. It's looking like rocks are going to be really important in this match as well to whittle down the Arcanine, the Kyurem, and the Braviary. So we will see how this goes. Now, I'll go ahead and click play. He's going to lead off with his Flygon. My strategy still is just to go ahead and get up spikes. And he is going to go for a U-turn on me, getting some good chip damage off. And he's going to go into his Braviary. Now, I do outspeed a Jolly Choice Scarf Braviary by 1 point, so I can either go for a second spike here, or I can take this opportunity to knock off the Braviary, which would be pretty nice. Or if it's like a, like a bulk up variant, I wouldn't hate getting rid of its leftovers. So, because he has 2 mons that are immune to spikes on his team, I decided to forego that last layer, and I do go for the knockoff and get rid of that Choice Scarf. So that's quite nice for me, and he's obviously going to take me out. Never any doubt about that. And this is now a good opportunity for me to go into my Aggron, or sorry, my Rhydon. Expecting him just to U-turn out here. He's probably expecting me to go for rocks, but I think it's a pretty good opportunity, honestly, to go for Rock Polish. He doesn't really have a great thing to deal with it, and depending upon what he switches into, we could pretty much get a kill. So that's pretty nice. So he's going to U-turn, and I am going to click that Rock Polish as he brings in the Flygon. So depending upon what sort of Flygon this is, it kind of dictates what happens here. The way that he led off with it first turn and he has U-turn, it does kind of suggest that he's Scarf, but he maybe is like a slow Scarf, because I still outsped with my Aselgor. I still got off the spikes before he got off the U-turn. I only hit 366 speed at +2 with my Rhydon. I just put enough speed on it to outspeed a max speed timid Raikou. And so we're going to have to take an Earthquake to the face, but I do calc, and if he's no investment, we do kill with the Ice Punch, as you guys can see. So that is quite nice. Now he goes into his Kofag. I know I can't one-shot this thing because Kofag's really bulky. I don't want him to burn my Rhydon, because I think I can still set up with Rhydon later on in the match, particularly on Braviary. And that's the main thing that I identify. Maybe Arcanine if he's not packing Will-O-Wisp or Close Combat. So we'll have to see. But in any case, I know that I can smack it pretty hard with my Marowak, so that's what I decided to go into here. As he kind of catches me off guard and goes for the Trick Room. So that's really scary because Kofag is going to outslow my entire team. But I do have a little bit of bulk on my Marowak here. I've got close to max HP investment, and I've got just a little bit of Spadaf investment. I would have enough in order to live a Shadow Ball from a Life Orb Reuniclus. Obviously, that's not a stab move from Reuniclus, but Reuniclus I think has better special attack than Kofag. And I also see that this Kofag is not Life Orb. I see that it's leftover. So I'm pretty confident that I can stay in here, take a Shadow Ball, and get off a big Shadow Bone here. As you can see, it only does 60%, and I can easily Oko back with the Shadow Bone. But now this is kind of funny because I've got 3 turns where I can abuse the Trick Room, because now my Marowak is pretty close to the slowest thing on the field. As I mentioned, I think I probably outspeed the Aggron, but he'd have to be pretty crazy to go into Aggron here. So he just goes into Arcanine, gets off the Intimidate, which is good for him. I just want to go for the Bone Ring and figure out what kind of set he is. He does seem to be very defensive. Probably is like a Celesteela check, which is a pretty nice set. But he's able to easily Morning Sun it off. And he roars me into Rhydon, which is actually great. I have a couple of options here. I can either just go for EQ, or I can try and click Rock Blast, predicting him to switch out into Braviary or something like that. But Braviary, I'm not really that threatened by it. Without its Scarf, I can easily revenge it with Latias, and Zoroark, of course, can revenge it as well. I don't want him to go into something like Aggron on my Rock Blast and potentially getting up rocks or doing other stuff. So I am just going to go for the EQ here as he stays in, and we are very fortunate to knock out that Arcanine. So 2 kills for Rhydon. Nice work. Quite pleased with that. He goes into his Kyurem. Again, do I want to sack my Rhydon or want to try and sack something different? Rhydon can still deal with Braviary and can still set up on it if needed. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to instead go into my Marowak. I'm worried about him setting up Substitute or going for Hail or things like that, but you know, there's not much he can do besides get up Hail, I guess. If he's sub, I know I can easily outspeed with Latios and take him out. If he goes for Hail, then I do have Zoroark to hit it with a Focus Blast, which would be pretty nice. So I go into what looks like Nidoqueen here, but it's actually Zoroark. So if I can get off a little bit of damage on this thing, Latios can come in and revenge it. I don't know exactly what kind of Kyurem this is. It's probably specially invested based on the damage that it did to my Marowak. Uninvested Ice Beam would not actually have killed my Marowak. But I don't know if he's max HP or if he's max speed. And so the fact that he's leftovers might tell me that he's got a little bit of HP investment, and then he's got some sort of substitute set. So with that, like, I'm a little weary of going straight Lottie. So all I need is just a little chip, and then I'll be in good position. He's, you know, if he's thinking that I'm genuinely Nidoqueen here, he'll go for an Ice Beam. Maybe he's thinking that I'm Yachi Berry and that, you know, there's not a whole lot that he can do. You know, he's not a whole lot else that I can do to him necessarily. Like, I can get off a hit, but I'm not going to be able to OHKO him. So he's maybe thinking, okay, it's worth it to 2 a KO the Nidoqueen, even if I am Yachi Berry. But surprise, I'm Zoroark, and I get off a nice 42%, and I do get off a flinch, which definitely sucks for him. It's not super critical just for the reasons that I described. If he were to able to kill my Zoroark with Ice Beam, I'd be able to come in with Lottie and Revenge Kill, no problem. But, you know, as it is, it stinks because he's actually going to feel inclined to switch into his Aggron here. And I can get off a really nice hit on this Aggron, get off a nice 42%. So now both his Kyurem and his Aggron are quite whittled. Now I go into the real Nidoqueen as he goes for a Heavy Slam, goes for 60%. I didn't actually calc this, but I assume that this is offensive. Just, you know, because that's a lot of damage. I'm not very defensive on my Nidoqueen set this week, but geez, that did a lot. So anyway, I'm just going to go for Earth Power, because I think even if he wants to go into Braviary, then I can just go into Lottie and I can revenge it. Or, you know, or I can go into Zoroark and revenge it. It'd be great, actually, if my Lottie could get in, because I think I can start setting up Calm Minds. Like, Calm Mind on Braviary, Calm Mind on Aggron, both would be great, because that'll allow me to OHKO the Kyurem. Well, actually, no, I'll already OHKO the Kyurem, but I digress. I do go for Earth Power, and he stays in. So, things are looking good. We're up 4-2. He goes into his Kyurem. I don't want to make any play here besides sack off my Nidoqueen, and again, if he wants to go for some sort of crazy move, he wants to sub or whatever, I can prevent him from doing that by going for Earth Power. And he does go into his Braviary here, and I Mega Evolve, go for a Dragon Pulse because it OHKOs the Kyurem. I do get a crit on the Braviary. It was a roll to kill without the crit. Obviously, with the crit, it could kill. But, you know, I outspeed. I have 330 speed on this Latias, so I was going to be able to two-shot it anyway, so not a very relevant crit. Comes back in with the Kyurem, and we're going to be able to easily Dragon Pulse this thing. So, this game, like, this matchup just scared the crap out of me. I can just leave it like that, I guess. Just with all the amount of offensive pressure that he had, particularly with Kyurem, and also things like Braviary, being able to wall break. If he wanted to have a Raikou or something, that could have done very well for him. I feel very fortunate to come away with this victory, and a 3-0 victory at that. I didn't even set up Stealth Rocks. Like, Stealth Rock would have been so crucial here, but we didn't really get the opportunity to do that, and we still came away with a win. So that puts us to 6-4 on the season with a +10 differential. Depending upon how Aiden plays this week, we might actually secure a playoff spot. If he wins, though, we are going to have to see how the final week plays out. I'm really hoping that he does lose, but I don't know. You know, the reason I hope that he loses is because I have to play Tyler next week, aka Fanbase, and he has the Tapu Lele Rain team, and that just really scares the crap out of me. But you know, we are on a nice win streak, and maybe we can ride that momentum into another final game versus versus our buddy Tyler. So definitely going to need you guys to wish us luck. Make sure you go check out Mr. Jellicent over here. He's got a good channel that he uploads a lot of League content to. And yeah, so that'll do it for me. Make sure you guys check back to my channel for more gaming Pokemon content. And until the next time, I'll see you guys later.